Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, something has caught my attention. Another, what I would call a strange quirk of the right, the conservative Republican masses in America. And it's caught my attention over the last, I'd say, I don't know, last couple of months. I see a lot of posts on conservative sites. Like I've told you guys before, just because I'm liberal, I always check both sides of a story whenever I do a story on here. I want to see what one side says, what the other side says. So I look at a lot of conservative Twitter sites, a lot of conservative news stories and stuff like that to see what, I want to see. Because a lot of times the truth is somewhere in the middle. But anyway, I've seen a lot of hatred, or what I have always said, hatred is really fear. Is fear. What I would call fear of Taylor Swift. Now, don't think I'm going to start doing all these videos about Taylor Swift because I just did all these videos about Britney Spears. That's not going to happen here. But this is something I've noticed. There's a reason I'm talking about it today, because people, like I said, I've been noticing these conservatives talk, this dislike, and that's putting it mildly, for Taylor Swift over the last couple months. And I'll give you guys a few examples. I'll have some links down below. It's things I've noticed. There's this one woman, Bridget Gabriel, and I don't know how I even came across her page or her Twitter page or whatever you call it on X. And she's one of those hardcore Trump women, and about every 10 tweets or X's or whatever you call it now, she posts one of those collector cards of Donald Trump. Like today, I see the one that I saw today was Donald Trump all dressed in a police outfit. She's got other ones of him in a all muscle bound in a football uniform, or as a soldier. She's one of them, that I've always found that so freaking weird, especially when the guys do it. These guys are supposed to be so macho, and they're showing these ripped, they got pictures of this ripped Donald Trump on their trucks and stuff. But anyway, like with Bridget Gabriel, I saw her a couple weeks ago. She posted something out. She's not watching the NFL anymore because it's gone woke. And I'm like, are you serious? And she starts talking about Taylor Swift. And I can't wrap my mind around this. Is it because she's getting so much attention in this male-dominated sport? Is that what it is? So I've been seeing this over the last couple weeks, right? About a week ago, I was at the gym. And you could hear people talking there. Some guys just go there to socialize, and women too, and stand around. I see people come in and they sit on the bike for maybe 10 minutes, and they go over here and talk, and they go over here and talk, and I always ignore these people because I don't go there to make friends. I go there to work out. But anyway, I could hear them talking, and they're talking about Taylor Swift, how they can't stand her, but I don't hear any specifics, and this makes me so curious. Like, why? I've got a few ideas here. I'm going to talk about them in a second. But the reason this came to a head today, the reason I'm doing this story, I'll link this down below. It was an article. It was one particular reviewer, and his review has gone viral over the last week, this last couple of days. And he's a conservative writer for the National Review. His name is Ormond White. And, most of the reviews for her tour, the ERAS, is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know how to pronounce this. I've always been curious about Taylor Swift. I don't know many of her songs. I'm going on 58 years old, but I don't dislike her. A lot of times I feel like I'm missing out on something because I see so many people enjoying her songs. Like, what makes me feel I'm missing out is I'll see guys around my age, fathers, that take their daughters or whatever to these shows, and they're dancing. Like I've seen a few movie stars or celebrities like at Taylor Swift shows bringing their daughters there, and they're actually getting into it and stuff. And I almost feel like I'm missing out on something. It's just another pop star. This has been going on since there's been pop music, or probably even before that. Back in Bach's or Beethoven's time. I'm sure the same thing was happening. The new guy comes out, and the conservative conformity crowd is all, oh my God, they don't know how to deal with this. Okay, so anyway, Armand White, this review of his is just insane. It's this scorched earth review, and the stuff that he compares Taylor Swift to. I just had to talk about this today. Finally, it's come to a head. Like I said, I've noticed, and I can't understand this. Please, I want conservatives to watch this video and explain this to me. Please explain this to me. Why do you find Taylor Swift so scary? Why do you find her so... I got a few... I can understand a few reasons. I'll get to that in a second. Like her getting people to vote. And I think that has to be the most American thing anybody has ever done. Voting is our right, our privilege. And this is what they say people, people fought wars for, people died for. And for her to get 35,000 people to register, she should be a national hero. She should be on our $1 bill. She should be on coins for doing this. That's my opinion of this. But conservatives, this is the part I don't get. It's like they don't want people to vote because they know they're going to get voted out of office. They know they don't have the majority, and that's the scary thing about So now they're saying that voting, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They're going the authoritarian route. Sometimes I just get stuck on a word. So anyway, Armand White, this reviewer, some of the stuff, the link's down below. I'll put this one right on top so you could read this. It's just crazy, over the top, scorched earth, hateful stuff about Taylor Swift and the ERAS movie, or ERAS movie. I'm sorry, I mispronounced that too. He says this. He says, Taylor Swift asylum seekers. I don't get that. Asylum seekers? It goes on. He says, a movie concert that promotes post-Madonna, post-Obama mind control. All right. So first of all, I don't get how... I've heard conservatives say this before, too, about Obama being... I think Obama is one of the best presidents ever in the United States history. When did Obama do any kind of mind control? This is where it gets better too. He goes on and he compares, that she's nothing like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones. They don't have the profundity. I believe that I'm not sure. I didn't look this word up, but I think the word is profundity. I think he's saying, that they're not as profound, as important in music as these people. And he names the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, the Supremes, and the Jackson 5. Now, I got nothing against the Jackson 5, but he's talking about profound, life-changing, country-changing, social reform music, profound music, right? Is that what he's talking about? The Jackson 5? Didn't they do ABC? As easy as 1, 2, 3. That song, is that what he's calling profound? Really? I know I can't sing. So anyway, man, you got to read this. So he goes on and he describes the movie director for the ERAS movie was Sam Wrench. Okay, now this gets really crazy. He compares the movie, the Taylor Swift's movie director Sam Wrench, to a Nazi propagandist. Seriously. Lenny Riefenstahl. Never heard of the guy, but apparently Armand White is pretty familiar with Nazi propagandists, being conservative, and so he compares the director to this. Okay, so I just Googled why do conservatives hate Taylor Swift, and you wouldn't believe there was just article after article after article. So I'm not imagining this. This is something real. So is it her getting 35,000 people to register to vote, which is probably what I consider the most, I don't consider it left or right or Democrat or Republican. She's not telling them to vote Democrat. And that's another thing. As far as her political views, she's never really been very outspoken. From the articles I've read down below, she once said something, she wasn't too happy with Donald Trump. She talked about him a little bit back in 2018. I think she said something about Marsha Blackburn. Rep from Tennessee, I think it is. She said a little something here, a little something there, but she's not a big player in the whole political spectrum. So what is it? She's getting people to vote. A lot of these people will probably vote Republican. And this is the thing that scares me too, like Vivek Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy wants to raise the voting age specifically because of this fear that younger people aren't going to be down with this conformity conservative view, and I don't blame them. And they actually want, if I had kids, or if I had talked to anybody under 25, I'm going to encourage them to vote, because look at what's happening. They want to take away the vote from people between the ages of 18 to 25, just because the music they listen to, or they call Gen Zers lazy and all this other stuff. And I've actually seen this too. This Bridget Gabriel from Twitter, she actually blamed the reason that Gen Zers can't buy a house. She said this. This is how I found her name, is because they're buying tickets to Taylor Swift. And I had to put a wise ass comment back. I used to listen to Ozzy and buy Ozzy tickets and Ozzy albums. And what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Are you telling me that that's the whole reason the economy is all, that Gen Zers can't buy a home? It's not because of this generational, this wealth gap, but it's because of Taylor Swift tickets. Okay, so or is it about her boyfriend? In this, that she's become quite a phenomenon or whatever when she goes to see her boyfriend, Travis Kelce. I had to actually Google how to pronounce his name. And I've told you guys before, I couldn't care less about football or any other competition sports. I used to be into football. I used to watch the New York Giants, but these days I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I like competition, but I compete against myself every day to make myself better than I was yesterday. But as for I'm not a team player. I could not care less about football or anything. But anyway, Travis Kelce, that he did a advertisement for Pfizer, which is I just went and got my 3rd booster shot. And this is another thing I saw. I'll put the links to this down below too. A bunch of conservatives all flipped out, and they're all trashing Taylor Swift. And one of them actually says something about which one will do Travis Kelce in first, his bad heart or Taylor Swift. Because they're still on this kick that somehow the COVID vaccine is going to do something. Man, and I am not the person to tell that to, because you guys know I've gotten every single shot. I'm 58 years old. I run or walk 6 miles every single day. I lift weights. I'm as strong as a horse. Whereas my ex-girlfriend, who was a conservative, Trump supporter, refused to get COVID shots, refused to get any vaccine, actually died from COVID on August 5th of 2021. So you can't. Yeah, that argument doesn't go anywhere with me. So anyway, I think I figured it out. Because conservatives are not that deep, and they're not that hard to figure out. It's usually something about conform. If somebody's not conforming, or if it has something to make them feel insecure, that's the basic 2 things that make them hate or fear something. And I think I figured it out. These older guys, these older Gen Zers, my age, or baby boomers, these guys are getting older, and they're getting impotent. And they're losing their hair. They're getting these big guts. They're not attractive anymore. Women are looking at them. Women think of them as irrelevant. And the only thing they have is the ability to make money, is their wealth, their accumulated wealth that they've accumulated over their 60 years on this planet. And Taylor Swift, I could not believe the money that Taylor Swift has earned from her concerts. I mean, she's a billionaire. This reminds me too, me and Audrey, we used to go on vacation right next to her house on Watch Hill in Rhode Island. It's a beautiful place. I've actually got pictures of that. Maybe I'll put them on my community page. That's what it is. That's it. Because I think Taylor Swift is taking away the last thing that actually makes these conservative men feel potent. It makes them feel like men, is their money, is their ability to control people with their accumulated wealth, or their generational wealth that they've inherited over the years. And Taylor Swift is earning more money than them, and it makes them feel limp. I think that sums it up. Or it's the fear. I don't get this fear of COVID shots. I can't, for the life of me, I can't figure out. Like I said, my ex died a horrible death in the hospital. I for the life of me, man, I don't get why these conservatives are so against this stuff. Insecurity, and conformity. If you don't conform, if you don't look like them, talk like them, listen to everything they listen to, you know, because anybody that's different scares them, or they're just scared. They're just scared. They're impotency. All right. So I'm gonna be back later. Tomorrow is my 17th anniversary of being clean and sober since October 23rd, 2006, and I'm gonna be talking more about this later today in another video and tomorrow. All right, you guys have a good Sunday.